So what is going on with all these tech layoffs? I mean, they're happening at a dizzying pace. But is it just a simple course correction for hiring too many people during the pandemic? Or is something bigger at play here, something involving AI? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into the two main suspects and figure out what's really happening.
I mean, you've seen the headlines. It feels like every time you open a news app, boom, there's another story about tech layoffs. The announcements are just coming in so fast and from basically every corner of the industry. It's this huge, widespread trend that's got a lot of people feeling, well, pretty unsettled and asking, what's next? And look, it's not just one specific part of the tech world feeling the heat. We're talking about the big guns. Oracle, Amazon, Microsoft. We're talking about the huge IT service firms like TCS and Infosys, the backbone of the industry. And we're even seeing it in the hot startups, places like Zepto that seemed like they were hiring like crazy just a few months ago. This is a huge sign that something fundamental is shifting across the whole ecosystem.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the big question we're trying to answer. What's really driving all these cuts? Is it just a simple market correction? A hangover from that post-pandemic hiring boom? Or are we witnessing something much deeper, a real AI-powered shift that's already here? Let's dive in and look at the evidence.
So, here are the two competing narratives. On one side, you have the official story. This is all just about correcting for some super aggressive hiring that happened after the pandemic. But on the other side, there's this unfolding reality, this idea that what we're actually seeing is a fundamental structural shift driven by AI. Let's start by looking at suspect number one, the overhiring correction.
All right, first up, suspect number one, the overhiring correction. This is the explanation you'll hear most often, right? From executives, in all the market reports, it's the official line.
And there's definitely truth to this, no doubt about it. Overhiring is a huge piece of the puzzle. Think about it. The pandemic caused this massive surge in demand for all things tech, and companies basically went on a hiring frenzy to keep up. Now that things are, well, stabilizing a bit, some of those roles are being cut as part of a necessary course correction. But, and this is a big but, that's not the whole story.
Okay, so let's move on to our second suspect, which points to a much, much deeper transformation, the AI revolution. We're not just talking about balancing the books anymore. This is about completely changing the very nature of how work gets done.
And this quote from Murali Vivekanandan, the founder of Ideas to IT, it really captures this new reality perfectly. He says, companies that deeply leverage AI will thrive and others will be impacted. See, his point is that this isn't just another tech cycle. The ability to actually use AI is becoming the new dividing line between success and failure. And obviously that has massive implications for everyone's job.
So, what does this AI integration actually look like in the real world? Well, a key idea here is something called services as software. Think of it this way. The old way was all about billable hours. You'd hire a team, they'd work for, say, 100 hours, and you'd pay for those 100 hours. But now the focus is shifting. Instead of paying for time, you're paying for a result, an outcome, often delivered by technology and AI that automates the whole workflow. It's a total game changer.
This table here just lays it out so clearly. The old model, it was all labor-centric. More people meant more revenue. Plain and simple. It was measured in hours. But the new model is outcome-centric. Better tech equals better results. It's measured in output. This means you don't need these massive, sprawling teams anymore. You can achieve more with smaller, super-efficient teams. The crucial point here is that the entire economic engine of the industry is being rebuilt.
But okay, let's zoom in a bit, because this isn't just about abstract business models and corporate strategy, right? There is a very, very real human cost to all of this. So let's open the case file and look at what this new reality actually feels like for the people on the ground.
6 a.m., you wake up, check your phone, and there it is, an email. Your job is gone. Just like that. That's not a hypothetical. That was the reality for a lot of former Oracle employees. It's just such a stark, cold example of how impersonal this whole process can be now.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. This quote from Gaurav Bhagat suggests that AI has kind of been made the scapegoat. He argues that, yeah, AI is a factor, but it's also become this really convenient excuse to cover up other business pressures.
So the truth is, it's not just one thing. It's more like a complex cocktail of drivers. You've got the real impact of automation, for sure. You've got that overhiring correction we already covered, but then you also mix in a general fear about the economy and this constant immense pressure to slash employee costs. It's never just a single reason.
So who's bearing the brunt of all this? Well, the data's pretty clear.
It's hitting mid-career professionals the hardest. We're talking about folks in their 40s and 50s. Why? Well, they're often the most expensive employees, and there's a perception, right or wrong, that their skills might be a bit outdated. It's a tough situation, and it's led some people to argue that the effective retirement age in tech is actually getting younger.
All right, we've looked at all the evidence, so what's the verdict? And maybe more importantly, what does this all mean for you? How do you navigate this new world? Let's talk about a path forward.
The verdict is in, and it's pretty clear. It's not one or the other, it's both. What we're seeing is a short-term correction slamming right into a much bigger long-term AI-driven transformation. And let's be clear, this isn't just a phase, this is the new reality.
So, knowing that is the first step. The next step is figuring out what skills actually matter now, because the game has totally changed, which means the rules for success have changed too.
And this is the new skill mix you need to be thinking about. Of course, AI fluency is huge. It's the biggest piece of the pie. But look closer. It's not enough by itself. See how much space is taken up by human-centric skills? Things like human psychology and design thinking? That's because as AI takes over more of the purely technical stuff, our ability to understand, empathize, and connect with other people becomes our superpower.
And let's just hammer this point home with that quote from Murali Vavakananan again. AI fluency is no longer optional. It is foundational. Think of it like reading and writing were a century ago. It's the new literacy. You don't have to become an AI programmer, but you absolutely must understand how to use it, how to work with it. So what's the game plan? Here are 3 things you can do to stay relevant. 1, you have to adapt and commit to always be learning. Things are not going to slow down. 2, use AI as an amplifier for your own skills, not as a crutch or something to be afraid of. It's a tool to make you better. And 3, be intentional about building out your toolkit with both technical and human-centric skills.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. In a world increasingly powered by AI, how are you going to prove your value? Because as tech automates all the routine stuff, our uniquely human skills, creativity, empathy, critical thinking, they don't just matter, they become our most valuable asset. The future isn't about you against the machine. It's about figuring out what makes you, you. What makes you irreplaceable.
Thank you. Share and subscribe to Learn AI for more AI insights.